Hello, how are you? Welcome in. Happy Tuesday, guys. How's everybody doing? I hope you've all had a wonderful weekend and that you had a great start to your week. Sorry I missed you all yesterday. So when you hop on, feel free to say hello. Let me know that you are here. If you no longer see the red live button, you are catching me on replay. Please hit hashtag replay. Let me know that you are here. Hello, Miss Trish. How are you? If you are able to sprinkle, I'm trying to get you uncrooked here. It's not working so well. If you're able to sprinkle out, I would very much appreciate it. We're going to finish a couple projects using the new spring release from Decoupage Queen. Hello, Janet. How are you? Welcome in. Thank you. Thank you for sprinkling, Trish. I appreciate it. How is everybody? How's your weather? Hi, Sybil. Hi, Diane. Hello, Miss Kimberly. How are you? I'm just putting you out there a little bit. And then we will work on our, I have the egg and I have the bottle. Hello, Tanya. Hi, Sheila. Welcome. How is everybody? I hope you're all doing good. Sprinkled. There it is. Hey, Treese. I don't want to hear myself. Hi, Nancy. Happy Tuesday to you. Welcome, welcome. I'm so thirsty today, guys. How is everybody? How are we doing? So do you remember the egg we started? So I have the egg and I have this bottle, and you know what? I'm putting the Harlequin on it. Hi, Donna Sue. The weather is beautiful. We topped at 73. I think we did not hit exactly 70 today, but it's definitely warming up. So I think we are going to put the Harlequin on the back of this. And so I did work some more. Remember I said it needed something, like it needed molds. It needed, I don't know, it just wasn't, it wasn't complete. So this is from one of the new releases from Decoupage Queen. This is called Spring Animals. I'm gonna pull you all up. Hi, Laura, how are you? And this is what is left. So we used the little chickie that was inside. I ended up using a couple different molds because I wanted to use the new ones. And we used the Garden Fairy and the Toadstool House. So this was the Garden Fairy. I used some of these out of the Garden Fairy. And then the Toadstool House, I used both of those leaves. So I created molds out of my clay using those. And we also did use the chic borders, which was this one. So we ended up using this last one, and that's what we framed this egg out with initially. See, like there's the borders, and here's all the pieces. I put a flower in the center. I know it's hard to see because it's all just kind of white right now, but I just framed out that little chick. So this is one of those Dollar Tree eggs. Hi, Sharon. How are you? Hi, Cheryl. Welcome in. Hey, Nancy. And this one, it's like kind of flat on the back. Does that make sense? So when you find these at Dollar Tree, like this one was hot pink on the back and then clear on the front. So I primed it. We then dabbed it with some white paint, and we, isn't it cute? I went ahead and put one of the chic borders on there, and then I just layered it up after tearing at the sides of this paper and decoupaging that on here. So I did put my matte varnish on the paper. I actually put a couple coats of this on here because we're going to be using the Umbra. And I think we're going to paint this flower yellow to match the other flowers. I don't know. What do you guys think? We're just going to use a little bit of yellow, and we're just going to use the Umbra antiquing gel in all of it, and then we're going to crackle it. And we're going to use the Umbra. So we're going to age this a bit. Thank you for sprinkling, Kim. How are you? Thank you, Sheila. Hello, Mr. Richard. How are you, darling? So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to pull out my yellow paint. So I think what eventually I'm going to do is, this is going to go on a wooden candlestick, and I'm just going to put some like dark moss under it and just glue it to that candlestick, because even though it sits, I don't know, I feel like I want to do something to it. I'm not quite sure exactly what direction we're going to go. I mean, it's cute just sitting there. It's got that flat bottom, but hi, Carolyn. How are you? Hi, Karen. So I'm just going to get my baby wipes ready. We're going to move these molds, and I'm going to take a little bit of yellow paint. We're going to lose the egg. So do we want to do yellow or do we want to do pink? What if we do pink? What if we bring some pink, or I don't have any purple paint. I do have purple paint. I can make a light lavender. What do you think? I think there's a lot of yellow on there. Do we do pink or do we do, let's do pink. We'll do pink. Hi, Stacy. How are you? You got your bunnies yesterday? Which ones? The ones from the Wally World? Is that the ones? I'm not sure if that's the ones you're talking about. Hello, Stacy. How are you? I'm trying to remember, because that's what I worked on the other day, right? Was, oh, I did work on it. It would be super cute on a candlestick. That's what I was thinking. Hi, Roxanne. Oh, that brush is not even, look, I put a brush back. Hi, Connie. Pink? Okay, we'll go pink for the flower. That brush needs cleaned big time. Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate it. All right. So we're going to do pink on the flower, and then we can come back in and add more pink, but it's just that one flower. So instead of going yellow, we'll go pink on it. I'm just going to take a little brush, and we're going to get pink into all of that clay. Dry that, and then we're going to use our antiquing gel. And then I think we're going to fine line the whole thing. We're going to make this a little more, not so glitzy like I usually like to do. Like, I think we're going to tone this really down and make it almost kind of shabby looking. I don't know. I guess I don't know what word I'm looking for. Hi, Phyllis. Welcome in. Welcome in, ladies. Hi, Mary Jane. Hello, Angela. How are you? So that's the pink we're going to do on there. It's not as bright as that other pink. Maybe we can add a little brighter pink, because we are going to put Umbra in there. Let's get a... We need to go... I don't know. I really only have like one or two pinks, guys. We'll do a little bit of this pink. Thank you. Actually, I just got it today in Happy Mail. Miss Trish sent it to me, believe it or not. Hi, Sheila. So that one it's called Rose Chalet. It's 75 and beautiful. That's awesome. Okay, so this is a little bit of a brighter pink. We'll mix it a little bit. It's only one flower. Don't ask me why I pulled all this paint out for one flower. Hi, Barbara. How are you? It's kind of like when I cook. I can't cook for one person. I cook for like 50. So when I pour paint, I pour enough paint for a big old project or 2 or 3. I guess I don't understand moderation, right? How is everybody? So did we do anything fun over the weekend? Anything exciting going on? Hi, Jan. How are you? And then I also want to work, like I said, we'll work on that bottle. I think once we get the fine line on here, and we'll give it a few minutes to kind of cool down, because Takes a little bit for that fine line to dry. We'll start working on that bottle as well. And we'll get these two projects finished up. I got to show you the Easter Bunny that I worked on the other day. I did finish it. And it was, I think it was, I just didn't give that top coat enough time to dry, is what I'm pretty sure is what happened. The one where I couldn't get the transfer down. So we just painted our rose pink. You are boring. I have the flu. Don't think it's... Oh, no, Jeanette. Still? How long's it been? Therese, you're not boring. Hi, Melissa. Thank you, darling. I appreciate it. Definitely not boring. Don't say that. One eye on the astronauts. One eye on the astronauts. Went to Disney on ice with one granddaughter and celebrated another one's 21st. Wow. How cool is that? All right, so we have a pink rose. Hi, Patty. 2 weeks. Ouch. That hurts. Hi, Camille. I am doing good. How are you, hon? What am I missing with the astronauts? I'm missing something then. Because I have no clue what's going on, in all honesty. Hi, Donna Sue. Hello, Tammy. How are you? So I actually think... let me see what we do here, because I feel like I want to use the green, in all honesty, antiquing gel as well as the Umbra. So I think we're going to use the olive too. Thanks, Susan. The Stranded Astronauts. I didn't even know about them, Meg. Hi, Cindy. You still have a cough from bronchitis? How bad is that? I didn't even know that. I had no clue that was going on. That's all right, Terry. They're going come after 9 months in space. Gotcha. I'll have to go look at it. I'm glad you're good. Oh no, Camille, I'm sorry. That tells you how much I pay attention to anything. So this Saturday, I will be an event with the Crazy Craftin' crew. So they're doing kind of like a small business thing. So for 1 hour, which would be, you know, for their events are typically 1 hour. So for that hour, I will be auctioning off and selling some items. So if you're here Saturday evening at 8 p.m., that is when our it'll be a small auction, but I will have several pieces. So I hope to see you Saturday. And even if you cannot purchase, I always say supporting means just as much to me. So it won't be a long one. We just have 1 hour and they're pretty much, you know, however we want to do it, whether I want to auction off or whether I do like just a buy it, whatever price. I'm going to have several things. I may do a mix of both. So we'll see what happens. Hi, Helena. How are you? Hi, Sandra. So I'm using the antiquing gel in Umbra and the antiquing gel in Olive. We're going to do both of them. So I do have it pinned at the top of my page. So if you follow along in that group, there's actually several of us. Terry will be in there. Justin's in there. There's several creators in there that will be doing it. They'll be doing it all day long. So everybody gets an hour to do it however they want to do it. So You'll definitely want to check it out. I think Terry, I'm at 8, Terry's at 7. I actually have an appointment at 3:40 that day. That's what I wanted to tell you earlier, Terry, and we keep missing each other, but I have at 3:40, I have to go in. I have an MRI that day, so I'm going to be missing a few people as everybody's going in and out. I was going to be in space 8 days, and they ended up being there almost 10. Okay, so I sort of knew that, I guess. Thank you, Tanya. I do remember a little bit of that, so I guess I sort of knew that, but I didn't know that. No clue what was going on, I guess. I'll have to look it up and look into it. So I'm not going to paint this. I am going to, we're going to use our antiquing gel in here. So I'm going to go in with my Umbra, and then we're going to come in over it all in the green. I'm going to kind of go over that border with the Umbra, section by section, or little sections at a time, I should say. And then we're just going to wipe it back. Hey Jen, how are you? And if you are looking for any of these papers or any of these molds from the new spring release, you can go to Ask me why I'm having a hard time with that. Oh Lord, a Craft and Chaos. In my link tree, it'll be at the top of my link tree. Oh my God, what did I say earlier, Terry? Words are hard. So we're just putting that Umbra in there, and then we're wiping back, and I'm going to go in with the green as well. Thank you, Connie. I actually just got this in Happy Mail today. Miss Trish sent it to me. And I was like, oh, that's cute. I'll wear it tonight. Listen, I'll explain later, Terry. Because we need to talk anyway. We so need to talk. Hello, Miss Pamela. How are you? Thank you, Sue. Sue just put in the link, so I'm just going to pin that. There you go. So if you're looking for any of the molds that we used today, or any of these beautiful papers from the new release, the link is pinned at the bottom underneath the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Cheese and rice. Yeah, you'll love it. Just got off from the gift shop at the hospital. Hi, Pamela. Well, I hope all is okay. So we're just putting that down. This is water-based, so I'm taking a damp baby wipe and I'm just laying it down and wiping it back. It does dry pretty quick. If it dries too fast on you, either go in smaller sections or just spray some water. It is water-based, so now you'll see where I definitely got it a lot darker, which is what I wanted. I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to spray a little bit of water in there and just take some of that dark out of there. And we're going to come back around here. Linda, I just saw, but that one's already it's all booked. I just saw your message come through, but that one, it's already all set. All right, so I'm just gonna come in here. I'm gonna clean up the back of the egg. So all we're really doing is laying this in here to bring out all the detail of that rope mold, so to say. And this mold came from, it's the Chic Borders. It's probably one of my favorite. I love how many borders are, where did I put the molds, are in this mold, because you have like your simpler ones, then your really ornate. This is just a great one to use, right? And then this one's super ornate. And then this, we're going to actually be using this last one here on that other bottle that we're doing. So that is the Chic Borders. And I think it's a great border mold because there's just so many different things in there to use depending on, you know, what style. You're not stuck with one just kind of look. There's so many different looks just in that mold itself. I love it. And it goes, you know, you have your bigger ones, your smaller ones. I actually really like that. As soon as I got it, I was like, no, that's a great mold because you can pull that out for whatever style that you like to craft in. Okay, so we have that is all in the Umbra. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to lay green. Now these are all leaves. I'm going to lay green down into all of these. This is the olive color in the antiquing gel. So you can get the antiquing gel. They have so many different colors. They have the blues, they have the white, the black, the Umbra. I think there's 2 different greens. There's several different colors. And then we're gonna lay a little bit of the Umbra into it too, just to kind of change it up a little bit. And then we're gonna tone everything down by, hi Carrie, how are you? And like I said, I put a couple coats already of that matte varnish on there, the Pen Art matte varnish, just to protect that paper, because I knew we were going to be like wiping away at it, especially since our molds are definitely into that paper. See, so that's what your olive, see how it matches the greenery around the rest of it? Hi, Cindy. Hello, Sandra. Welcome in. So we're just going to work our way all the way up. And how much easier is this than literally taking like that little detailed paintbrush and painting all the way up your, I'm good, Carrie, all the way up your molds. I mean, you can paint them and then come in with the antiquing gel as well, but this is a great way to kind of go about blending it all together, is use your different antiquing gels and just add dimension to your molds and have them blend into your project. They have an okra. Apparently I'm in the mood for okra. They have an ochre color. Just kind of got that. I always say it's like a mustardy color. That would be a great one to put on here too. Thank you, Carrie. Look how beautifully aged that looks. I love that. See how it just blends in with the paper? You don't even see where the edges of your paper are and where your molds kind of start, other than having that real 3D look. Thanks, Denise. I was saying I got it in Happy Mail today. And I was like, that's cool. I don't think it's something I would have picked out for myself, but I actually really like it. You know me, I wear a lot of black flannels. Actually, that's about all I own, black and flannels. I know, isn't it pretty? So it's the Olive Antiquing Gel. So if you're looking for this, I'll hold it up for you. It's great on these molds going around your eggs. Any of these antiquing gels. So this is the olive one. And this is what that looks like. And when you guys look at those antiquing gels, check out all the different colors because you can play. No, you don't. I never have. I mean, yeah, I guess you can, but I haven't. I don't seal it. I don't know if that's right, if that's wrong, but I've never had an issue with it. Well, I can't say I never have. I have because I go back over and I'll seal my projects. I'm lying to you. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, I do seal it. Now, whether it needs to be or not is, I guess I can't answer that. I don't know if Terry is in here, if she can answer if it has to be sealed. I don't know why I was thinking to answer. It seemed more complicated than I guess the question really was. I just go through and you want to seal your project anyway. So, and we're going to seal this because we're going to fine line it. Now I let that get a little dry, so I just sprayed it with a little bit of water and then I'm going to wipe it back. And I'm going to take a little bit of the Umbra and I'm going to go into the center of that flower. Has to, no, but you should always seal for longevity. Okay. So I know, like, during lives, you guys don't always see me sealing everything, right? But I do seal, and trust me, now I put them aside because I can't believe that I didn't seal my one Crackle project. And I was so bummed, like I told you guys the other day what happened. And, I mean, I know what happened. I don't know where my mind went. But I do make it a point to, before I even take photos of it or anything, typically is I leave it set aside and I seal everything. And that's why sometimes you'll see me go like several days before I post photos of something, because I'm like, okay, I got to get in there and seal it. And then something else happens and I'm like, okay, I'll get in there tomorrow and seal it. Hi, Nicole. Just got home from work. Nice to see you. Hi, Eva. How are you? Nice to see you. I hope you had a good day at work. If that's... I always feel weird saying that. I hope you had a good day. Hope it wasn't a stressful one. How about that? I think that's probably a better way to put it. Look how stinking cute. Particularly is water-based, so if someone were to not seal, then clean it, dust it with a cleaning product. The gel can most likely, yes. True story. almost all the way around. And we're going to give this a really good dry before we come in with that fine line. Thank you, Carrie. There's a million ways you could work with any of these eggs, as long as you prime them first. You know, and if they have that little where they open in the middle, I prime them, then I come in with E6 or B7000 and I lay a string of that glue and I glue them shut, and then I'll use either like a clay mold or some bling going around, and it just gives it a little extra so that it doesn't open back up. And then just decoupage or throw gems down or throw yourself some clay molds. There's so many things you can do with these, even if you just painted them. You know, even if you just put down some of those clay molds and then antique them out using the antiquing gel. You know, you don't even have to decoupage something on it. I will actually be live on TH Decor Creative Friends page tomorrow, working on some, like something different for you guys using the eggs. So that one is going to be fun. So if you're not on TH Decor Creative Friends page, you want to go over there and join. We'll have fun tomorrow with those. There's so many things you can do with these. Especially with a lot of the new papers they just released and these molds. Just have a blast with them. I think Easter eggs, I don't know. I probably have a couple more in me, and then I think it's over. I don't know. We'll see. So there is just with the antiquing gel. And look how stinking cute it looks. So I'm going to do just randomly a little bit of umbra into that green, so it's not just that green, because leaves aren't always just green. We're just going to kind of come in here and there and then wipe it back. I'm going to kind of come around here too. Just to put some different tones in there. Isn't it fun? They're so fun to play with. Who already ordered some of those spring release papers and molds, and they have stencils? How many of you got some of them? So I came in between here where it's really white, and I put some of that umbra in there as well. And we're going to do the same thing on this side, and then wherever, I mean, just kind of spread it out a little bit. I'm just going super thin. We'll let this dry. I mean, I don't know who's going to turn this upside down, but you never know. So we're just going to kind of go with it. We don't want that stark white there. So anywhere where you see that stark white, we're just going to rub that on there and let that sit for a hot second. Come back into the leaves, wipe it back. You did, Roxanne. Hi, Tammy. How are you? Hello, Hannah. All right, let me get a clean baby wipe. I'll wipe up my hands. We're going to set this aside, and I'm just going to dampen that all up in case we need to fix anything. just going to kind of, let me go in maybe with a little bit of green around that flower. Maybe that was too damp. I got several papers, the frame mold and the crescent moon. Oh, you got the crescent moon stencil. Oh my God, I want that one so bad. Because I have an idea for that and I want that one so bad. I don't have the stencils yet. I have to order them. I love them though. So yeah, that crescent moon, that is a beautiful stencil. I cannot wait to get my hands on it and use it. So there's our flower, and then these are all the leaves. And see how it, I mean, it literally just blends in. So if you're looking at it, you just think all that's there is that bird, right? So what I think I want to do is, I don't even know if I want to do this, but I think I'm going to take really watered down antiquing gel, and we're going to go, so the egg itself came from Dollar Tree. All the products I'm using on it are the paper and the molds and so forth are all from the new Decoupage Queen spring release. You can find those on the link pinned below the comments. So I'm going to take my damp towel and I'm going to keep it on that dirty side. Does that make sense? I'm not going to move that towel around, and I'm just going to move this antiquing gel all the way around the back of this egg till I kind of get that hue all the way around it. We're just going to age it up a little bit, and then I will take the clean part after I let it sit for a minute. Thanks, Denise. Now I'm going to take the cleaner part of my wipe, still damp, and I'm not applying a lot of pressure because I don't want to wipe it all off. See how I have the antiquing gel like in the crease where that mold is, and now I'm just wiping back. I just want enough on here that it doesn't have that stark white, and it all kind of has like this natural aged look, if that makes sense. So again, I'm not grabbing a clean one, because if I grab a clean one, I'm going to wipe it all back. So I'm using the same one and just removing till I'm happy with what I have on here. I want it to have a little bit of an aged look, and it's an easy way to do this without actually painting it. There we go. See how we just kind of gave it that aged look. So now I feel like the only place I really want to crackle this is the egg, and I want to use the Umbra in there. All right, the egg. Oh my goodness. The chick. Thank you, Rita. How are you, darling? I'm sorry if I didn't see you come in. So again, I don't want to wipe it all off, so I'm just using that same wipe. So now I kind of have it all around it. And I think I'm going to crackle just the front face of this. I don't think it's necessary to crackle the back. Just the front face. Hello, Melody. Hi, Beverly. Hi, April. So we're going to fine line that. Let's put these away. Hey, Mama Luca. How are you? I know I pulled brushes out that... Who else pulls like specific brushes out for their fine line? Maybe not specific, but I hold on to certain ones that I know haven't been in any water or any of that. So now while I'm just going to dry this, make sure there's no dampness or anything like that on here from that baby wipe, any of the gel. The gel dries pretty quickly, but we just had that baby wipe all over this egg. So I just want to make sure there's no water, no dampness. It is awfully cute. I like it. How are you guys doing, Mama Luca? So we're going to use the fine line crackle, 2-step process, right? You guys should be pretty used to me using this at this point. Clean dry brush. And we're going to put our first step down. I was not on last night, Glorious. No. I had some things come up and I did not come on last night. Working. You need a break, Mama Luca. Come help me clean my craft room. I'm about to ask Jenny and Cheryl to come help me do it. I'll actually be with Cheryl Saturday. Lining my base right now will let you know how it comes. Oh, awesome. I'm just kind of getting the fine line down in there. If I don't get all the way to the edges, that's fine because we're going to put the umbra in there and that's not going to bother me at all. All it's going to do is age those leaves a little bit more. But I am going to try to come up just into some of these like little catty corner areas. All right. Hi, Jennifer. Nope, you did not miss me. He's going to be cute, fine lined. You know what? I'm not going to go back over it with my brush and create a drag, but I missed, like my brush skipped a spot right over that little chickie. So I'm going to dry it till I think it's almost all the way dry or is dry in that area, and then I'll go over it. You notice I left my brush out. Hi, Judy. How are you? So, and then I think we're going to work on this one. I totally forgot to pull the gold that I want to use on it, but I'll have to snag that and then we'll start working on her. She's going to be super cute. I keep saying she, maybe because of the pink. Isn't it pretty? Like it. So that does make it really shiny. Now you want to keep your heat moving, and just remember this is like plastic, so you kind of got two things going on here. You want to be careful that you don't burn your fine line, and that you also don't, oh, glorious. But you also don't want to warp your plastic by any means. Now that we're at this stage, this is our last step, so you don't want to warp your plastic. So just be conscious. It's one of the reasons I'm using this heat tool instead of the other. I may switch to the other just for a minute, but it is just a plastic egg. Haven't seen anyone for a while. Aww. I know I saw Jenny was out here the other day. I wish I'd have known. I know. It's so hard. I know. I was talking to my daughter-in-law the other day, and she sent me a picture of Lucas, and he was being crabby, didn't want to go to sleep, but he was tired, and I said he just needs grandma cuddles. So I get it. Oh, hi Terry, you're never late. Don't ever apologize. I tell people all the time, don't apologize coming on here, you're never late. All right, I think that's all the like hot gun I want to use on there. Thank you, Glorious. I'm gonna have to ask Miss Trish where she got it from because everybody's saying they love it. Hi, Safina. All right, I think, yep, I can put right where I missed that spot. I'm going to put a little bit right there. So let me just make sure, because I'll kind of see where it dragged a little bit right in here. I'm just going to put a coat right there because I know I missed a spot and it's on the chick, so I don't want to have missed a spot on the chick. Just putting a light coat right there. Is Lucas yes. So actually I was talking to my son yesterday. So Lucas says all done. He does say uh-oh. He says uh-oh every time he drops something or does anything wrong. He was doing that here. He says all done. So when something's gone, he says all done. But after he goes potty, they have to check him because he'll go all done. Hi, Sam. He shakes his head yes and no. He does say dog. He says woof. And then he says kitty. He tries to say kitty. But he does say, like, he's definitely communicating a lot more. So, but I heard him yesterday say all done. My son's like, do I have to check your diaper? Let me see your diaper. So he's hilarious. I'm like, great. So now the kid's going to tell me all done and I'm going to have to change a diaper. I mean, I guess it's better than finding out the other way, but you know, he sounded so stinking cute. And it's so weird to me to hear him actually talk. Like, I mean, he says dada. He says mama. And I don't know, I guess I'm just used to that, and like the uh-oh's cute, but it's more like a sound, right? So to hear like an actual voice come out of him where he says all done is like, did that just happen? Like, when did he get that big? He's not supposed to be big enough to be saying anything. So yeah, he's starting to talk. And it was funny because when they were here a couple weeks ago, I said, I can't wait till he starts talking and I actually know what it is he wants and what he's thinking. Because sometimes you wonder, what is he thinking? And now I'm like, no, I don't want to know. Hi, Della. I went in my oh boy pants if he went to the bathroom instead of, oh my god, how stinking cute. Yeah, no, he just says, all done. So all I can picture is like being in a restaurant or something with him and he says all done. And I'm going to have to try to figure out if that's what that means. Like, does he mean that? Because, you know, we're out in public somewhere or at a store, and then I'm going to have to do that right away. Oh, really, Sam? No, he's not allowed to get that old. He's got to stay the age he is. I don't want to think about him getting any older. Like, Sophia, just from when I met her, has grown so much. I mean, my oldest, Jesus, 10 years old. Like, what the heck? And stands like to here on me. It's ridiculous. It's sad. I don't know. It's sad to me. I don't want them. It was sad when my own kids grew up, but them. Okay, so now they do say with the fine line that for the best results, you would let step 1 dry naturally, come back, apply step 2, let that dry naturally, and then what I do is I take my heat tool to it just to let it crackle a little bit more, even though it did dry naturally, because the heat will make it crack some more. But obviously, for live purposes, this is what we do. You just want to be very careful with your heat tool. Don't leave it in one spot. And then when we get step 2 on it, that one doesn't take as long to dry. And then we're just going to put our Umbro wax paste into it. Our antique paste. Did you guys see the bunny bottle that I posted? Asked if I could see his mustache. Oh my God, Georgiana, that's too much. I don't know where Trish got this. It would have either been Amazon or knowing her Temu. There's 4 of them. Carrie, 4 of them. But thank you. I feel like I've aged a million years in the past just 2 years, but 4 glorious. 10 years old, 4 years old, 2 years old, and 16 months old. Lucas is the youngest. Jackson is the second, and then second youngest. So youngest to oldest is Lucas, Jackson, Sophia, and Lily. My kids saying that put me in the attic. Is it a big attic? Like, is it peaceful attic? I'd start decorating the attic. Like, make it your happy place. Put all your crafting supplies up there. Get a little fireplace, a TV. Set yourself up a fridge. All they gotta do is come up there and check on you once in a while. Okay, she got it from Temu. Yeah, Debbie, I will eventually. Once I can get, so I have to coordinate with Miss Shelley, and she's a couple hours from me, so it's like an hour and a half for me. And then her granddaughter is going to do it for me. So there's a lot of coordinating going on, and I got to get some work done to the tires of my car. So before I drive out there, I have somebody to do it already. I just got to coordinate it all. All right, so step 2 of the fine line is going to go on. Now this is a lot thinner, so just be careful how much you put on your brush because you'll get runs. No matter how careful I am, I swear to God, I always get the little runnies. So you want to make sure step 1 is completely dry, and then you're going to start laying step 2 down. And just pay attention to where you laid it. And just follow your path of where you want it to go down. And like I said, this makes it very glossy. So you'll notice like I really pay attention to where I'm laying it when I'm on a lighter piece, because I want to make sure I covered everything right. And I just kind of dip the tip of my brush into there, and you'll see me like rotate the brush because it is a lot runnier and I don't want all those runs. Now making sure I go up into the grooves where I did with step 1, so I can butt up along those molds. Just checking it in my light. I think I got it all. Right there. Okay. Hi, Miss Connie, how are you? So now we're gonna dry step 2, and this is like the most fun part. And you'll see it start to crackle. You'll hear it start to crackle if you really pay attention to it. And you want to do the same thing with step 2, is be very careful with your heat tool. Don't burn it. Thank you, Leslie. So this is the one we started last week. And I said I wanted to put all the different molds on there, so we did that. And we're just going to fine line that little chick. Hi, Kathy. That Piletta, I sure did. Look, I prepped my brushes because I knew what I was going to do. So I'm going to take the heat off. I'm actually going to not use this one. Small area. So I'm going to bring this one out. And it should start cracking any moment. Actually, it already is crackling. How awesome is that? So I didn't put a super thick coat of step 2 on. That little chickie's crackling. Now the one thing I had to learn is don't go touching it. I kind of know now after using it so many times. When I see it crackled everywhere, I can tell when it's dried. But if you touch it and it's still damp, now you got a fingerprint on it, and trust me, you'll never unsee it once you know it's there. And it'll show on your project. So I've learned the hard way not to touch it. When I see it crackled all the way, that's when I'll kind of like just put the back of my finger on there very lightly in a spot off the corner. Oh wow, really, Sam? Like 10? I saw some, man, they did some damage. God, that's so sad for so many people. All that ugly weather. And we're just barely, into spring. I mean, I know it's March, but I figure you got till basically May. What is it, end of May for spring? I think if you put it on the candlestick, the crackle will look good on the back too. Yeah, it probably would. Like I said, I haven't 100% decided if, I think the candlestick would be a cute way to go, but I don't know if the one I have is too big. That's the only, I'm like, believe it or not, I'm almost out of candlesticks. I don't have very many. I have like a shorter, wider one, that's all wood that I just thought about painting ivory and aging up. Oh, all that crackle is amazing. I can hear it cracking just as we're talking. I don't know if you guys can see some of the crackle in there. Sometimes it's so hard to see it in the light. There's some great crackle on that bird. I'm gonna give it a little more heat, and then we're gonna put our umbra in there. Oh, Terry, it's so sad. So sad. Again, I'm just being careful with my heat tool because this is plastic, and then we don't want to burn our product, right? Now, I'm careful because I say it all the time. My hands get very, like, I say sweaty. It's not like sweaty. I guess the easiest thing to say is sweaty hands. So fine line doesn't like anything water-based or damp. And I noticed on a couple of my projects that I was either leaving prints or it was getting like funky spots on it. Cause you know, I tend to hold, especially on my bottles, that's where I was really noticing it. Cause I tend to hold everything like this. So if your hands get like slick from being damp, it'll show up on your fine line. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out why. And then I was like, you know what? I bet you that's what it is. And sure as heck, when I stopped grabbing everything, I noticed that problem disappear. Or if you wear gloves or just hold it with a towel. So I'm going to do half of this. This came from the Dollar Tree. So this was just it was clear on the front and hot pink on the back. And I primed it, glued it together, painted it, and then we just put the molds and the decoupage on. So I'm going to show you that umbra, how pretty that is. You see all that crackle? And then I went like halfway into the bird. So there it's not crackled, and there it is. And tell me that doesn't make a huge difference, right? I don't think we want any of my hair on that project. It's amazing what that crackle does. So this is the antique paste. You can also find this over on Craft and Chaos, which is pinned in the comment section underneath the comments. And I'll hold that up for you so you can see it. Now, what I say is if this antique paste, let's show you a little trick, doesn't wipe off for you like really quick or like enough, warm your project up a little bit with your heat tool. Because it's essentially just like a paste or a wax, right? And it wipes right back beautifully. Because it kind of melts. So I want to put a little bit more into this little chick. So I'm going to warm this up and then we're going to lay it in there. Isn't that so cute? Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Hi, Lydia. I'm going to warm that little chick up. So just a little trick, you can warm it back up. So, I see you, Miss Evelyn. I think you're over on my story, though. So we're going to come up along the edges here, wherever that fine line may not have gotten into. And we're going to take our brush with that umbra on there, and we're going to come in along the edges of all these molds, like I said we were going to. Because we don't want to leave like some stark white areas. You want it to all kind of blend in together. And then you're just going to take your towel. So when you're doing this, don't use a baby wipe. Like Again, no water. You're going to use, these come from Dollar Tree. Or you can use a soft paper towel or a microfiber cloth. Whatever works best for you. And then you're going to seal this with the solvent-based sealer. And you can use matte, or I don't think we need to antique it anymore, so I'm just going to use the glossy. But look how cute that is. And tell me that didn't make everything just pop and kind of all blend in together, I think. So I'm almost wondering, let me kind of come in here and come along that mold a little bit more and just sort of blend in our mold and our line here a little bit better. Just taking what's left on my little brush. Just if I see any white areas that maybe that antiquing gel didn't get into, you can use your antique paste. Step 1 goes a little thick and step 2 starts to darken and crystallize. Did I miss something? I'm going to buy a new crackle. I haven't used it in a year. I think that's what is wrong with it. Oh, step 1 does get really thick. Like it is thicker than step 2, but you'll notice like if you don't use it and it's been sitting around or whatever the case is, it gets really thick. And yes, I have had that happen. I'm glad you said that, Terry, with step 2, because I did have that happen to me and I wasn't sure exactly if that's what it was. So I'm just taking whatever antique paste, I'm coming up underneath here because we didn't get, you know, I didn't hold it upside down like I always tell you guys, turn your projects upside down, inside out, whatever. You just don't want all this stark white of that clay if you missed any areas. And just take what's left on your brush, which isn't much. And you don't even have to wipe it back. You can just kind of take it and drag it along in there. And you can wipe it back, but okay. All right, I'm gonna put the glossy varnish on it. Let's do our glossy varnish on it. So this is the varnish we're gonna use. We're gonna throw this on there and then we will move on to the next bottle. All right, so let's close that up really good. Let me just go over one more time with my little towel and make sure it's nice and clean the way I want it to be. Thanks, Trish. Before I go ahead and seal that. Now you want to seal and you want to use a solvent-based varnish. Do not use your DuraClear or any kind of water-based varnish. It's not going to take it very well at all. You will actually ruin your fine line. So I'm going to go in with my glossy varnish, and I'm going to end up putting at least 2 coats on here. And then once that second coat is on here, I will go in and I'll show you which one I'm going to use on the rest of the egg. Because I don't want the whole thing glossy. I don't want those molds around it glossy. I know some people like that, but it's just me, y'all. I like that kind of the contrast, and I tend to like the matte. But I think it makes the center of this egg stand out so much prettier if we use like the matte varnish on all those molds and then the back of this egg. Because it's almost like you're looking into a window. if you really look at this that way. Look how glossy that is. And look how pretty that contrast is. Hi, Patricia. That's so pretty. Just like a Fabergé egg. I love it. Thank you, Tanya. So let me just put a little bit. This will take a while to dry. Let it sit, let it do its thing, let it dry. If you come back in the morning, which is what I typically do, and then I'll put another coat on, or I wait several hours, then I'll come back and put another coat on. The solvent-based varnish is a little bit stinky. Have a fan on, have your window open, whichever. So if you're sensitive to like the stronger odor. Now, I'll tell you that even though it is solvent-based, if you use this one, which is like the antique one, it's not as strong as an odor as this one. And what's funny is I use this one all the time, not realizing what this was. It's just what I got. And I was like, it doesn't smell that bad. Terry's like, what are you talking about? It does have a smell to it. I'm like, it's not that horrible. And then I realized the difference between the two. So one is definitely stronger than the other. Thank you, Janet. So I'm just giving it a little bit of heat just to give it a head start. And then I'll set this aside somewhere safe. But then there was this one we did. Remember this one? Look how stinking cute this bunny is. And we used the vintage, we used the new frame mold that came out from Decoupage Queen. And that was one of the adorable stinking bunny papers that came out. So that was the, how do I not know the name of that? Antique frames, not vintage frames, antique frames. Okay, so there is that egg. I think it's super cute. I may put another coat of that Umbra Antique on the back before I seal it because I don't like too much contrast. It needs to be a little bit darker. So we'll dirty that up a little bit more, but we're gonna let this dry for now. I say put it somewhere safe. Please be safe right there. Hi Terry, how are you? Okay, I'm gonna clean this brush just so it doesn't harden up on me, and just use, I say use at least 91%. The 91% works good for me. They have 97% alcohol too. Thank you, Sarah. I get this one at Dollar Tree. I know they sell the other one at, you can get a bigger bottle at Walmart. Which mold on that egg? I used, it's called Antique Frames. It's this one. So I know for a fact that they are in stock with Craft & Chaos. This is one of the new releases as well. So I actually used this mold right here, and then on the sides I cut the top and I cut the bottom, like if this will make sense to you. So that's the actual mold, and I love it because this one looks more oblong, right? But you can actually shift it because of how thin it is. But then I took the top of the bigger one and the bottom of the bigger one, and I created that space on either side. Does that make sense? So I always say with your molds, play with them because you don't have to use them the way they show. Now this one I need to do a little more work too. I want to clean that up a little bit, but so you get 3 frames in here, and then you can piece and part these all. And the great thing I love about this is you can shape them any way you want. So that's a great mold to have. So if you're looking for that, just click the link below. Where did that come from? Oh, I know where that came from. Awesome, Sarah. All right, so I just kind of, you can put this into a cup with your rubbing alcohol. I use my mat for everything, you guys. On the one I just finished, okay, I'll show you. Hi, Carly. I actually used 2 of them. I actually used 3 of them. I'm sorry. So I used the Fairy Garden mold. I used the Chic Borders. So I used this one from the Chic Borders. I used the fairy garden mold, which was these leaves. That's a lot of what I used in this one, on that one. And then I used the, I'm sorry, this is the toadstool one. I'm lying to you. This is the toadstool one. So these two off of the toadstool, and then this is the garden fairy. And I used this one and this one. So I used 3 of the different molds. I used a lot of the one that was in the toadstool and then quite a few of them from the fairy one. And I'm going to actually leave this brush right here. Oh, thank you, Carly. And what was this? This was step 2. That's got to go in my water. Okay. And I don't need these. I might need those. We'll leave those out. You're welcome, Miss Donna. That's why I say pull apart. I mean, even with some of those molds, I took, because these are great. Do you see how they're angled? So they wrap around, but you can cut that leaf out. Same thing with the middle leaves. And you can piece and part however you want to do it. So that's why, I don't know, I love those. Thank you. Okay, so I don't have the name of this paper. I don't think I saved it. So either Sue or Terry help me out. So we are putting, I did save it. I'm lying to you. So this was called Luminescent Fairy. So it came, and this was the, you can obviously get it in A4, but this was the A3 paper. So this is what came out of this one. So this was a pretty popular paper, but look at that fairy. So what we did is we reverse decoupaged that fairy right onto there. And then I just kind of pounced some paint on the back after we sealed that paper. And y'all, that fairy is going to look awesome. So what we're going to do on the other side of this bottle, and like I said, I was torn on what I wanted to do. And I'm just going to put in an order for a few of these, because this paper, this Harlequin, when I saw it, I'm going to show it to you. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. I'm going to show it to you. So just stare at it for a second. Does it not look like it's glowing? Like there's some kind of holographic glitter or some kind of holographic magic to that paper. So I know some of you saw, I mean, you've seen probably several projects like this. Terry did a gorgeous project using this paper, and the fairy. But we're going to put this on the back of the bottle because I just have to. I feel like I don't have a choice. It's got to go back there. They work together. And no matter what I was trying to think of, it wasn't going to work for me. So that's what we're doing. We're putting this on the back, and I'm going to try to save. I love this paper so much I want to save half of it. How sad is that? I'm just trying to think which half I want to save. I'm like, no, don't waste it. But, so this is the varnish I'm using on the rest of the egg. That's what I wanted to show you. I'm like, why is that sitting there? So we're going to put this on the back, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trace around. I think. I know, it is. It's like a totally different look, right? I love it. So I'm going to grab, I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. Of course, I didn't bring the other. I got these cutters today that I was like, oh, I should have brought them in here, and I didn't. They're still sitting in my kitchen. So I'm just going to kind of, this is one of those little dotter tools. I get these at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to come around, And I'm just going to imprint my paper and I'm going to tear along it. And it's going to be probably a little bigger than I need, but that's all right. I'd rather that than not enough. Isn't it so pretty, Cheryl? I love it. So all it did was kind of imprint that paper. I'm from the air or contamination, or just a variety of things even. Aw. Okay. So because I do want to save some of this, I'm going to come right underneath where I did that. That's all I got left, Terry. Oh, thank you, Trish. Do we have a stars party going? You guys are so sweet. That's what I wanted to show you. Remember the bunny we were working on? So I did get the butterflies down and the wings kind of go up the back. Look how cute she is. Isn't she adorable? Love her. I knew there was something behind me I wanted to show you. Okay, so I'm just gonna go along that and I'm gonna tear. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna actually use the chic borders to go around the edges of that bottle, but I do want to get as close as possible. And I'm trying really desperately to see what the heck where my line is. Thank you. Holy cow, Nicole. Open your eyes. Where are you going with this? And that little indent helps you to tear your papers. So you can obviously take a water pen and you can water cut your paper. I'm just going to tear away at it. Figure out where exactly this is all going to lay. How far up I need to bring it. Now, remember, I did foil the bottom of this with some gold, right? So we're going to paint over that. See how we foiled the bottom in gold? Hi, Phyllis. So you'll see the gold from inside of the bottle. Okay, what do I need? I need decoupage varnish and glue. Just silky shine. You know what I kind of want to do? hold on a second. I kinda. You guys seen this yet? I want to know what this is going to look like. So they have a glitter one, but I want to know what that's going to look like on the actual Harlequin before I do it. So I'm going to actually try that. Let's get a little brush and try that on here. So this is decoupage varnish and glue, and there is glitter. So let's see what this does. Oh, it's thinner. I've had this forever, so hopefully this is still good. I haven't used it. Can you believe I haven't used this stuff? Probably because me and glitter. See, I haven't even opened it, and I've had it for ever and ever and ever. Oh, for crying out loud. There it goes. Oh boy. We're going to play with glitter. I know it's not like glitter, but I want to see what it's going to look like. Shut the front door. Thank you, Georgia. Oh yeah, this is going to be the top coat, just so y'all know. Let's try that, see what it looks like. I don't know if you can even see it on this little bitty piece, but I'm going to show it to y'all. Remember I said I wanted something, and I just didn't know what that something was? We can go in it with a light coat of the glitter to the back of the bottle. I don't know if you can even see. So it's not all the way dry yet. But see how it's got, oh Lord. See how it just shimmers in certain light? So you have the paper that already looks like it's glowing. And then this glitter actually looks like the greens and the blues and has like some deeper colors in it that pop off of because it works with that, the color of the paper. Okay, now I'm excited. So we're going to use our decoupage varnish. What is that? This is, that is not it. Decoupage varnish and glue with glitter by Pen Art. Like I said, I have not used it yet. So, all right. So what we're going to do is, yeah, it shimmers. It's just got like a pretty shimmer to it. I'm holding this here because I have it in position, right? So I'm going to pull out my little squeegee. Oh man, did I shift it? It'll be fine. It's all good. Yeah, it's very sheer. So I think I'm just going to do a very small coat. So I'm not going to come all the way up to the edge yet because we're going to have to do some tearing along the edge because it is a rounder bottle. We're just going to get this pretty much set down where we need to set it. And then we'll start tearing so that it lays down nice and flat. You guys know I'm using my favorite brush, right? So I get these off of Craft and Chaos too. They're very inexpensive. You get 6 of them. They're great, all different sizes. Detail brushes, great brushes to paint with. They clean beautifully, and you guys know I'm super picky about brushes. So if you're looking for some good brushes, these are those. I don't know if Sue's still in here and she can throw the link in there, but these are some awesome brushes. If you're looking for some that are inexpensive but work beautifully, that would be these. I know it's been a hot minute since I've said it because I was kind of being greedy and wanting brushes for myself. Because they sold out once and I was like, man, I need some. I did also put them in one of my creator boxes. That's how much I loved them. Okay, I'm going to dry this and then we're going to play with tearing and laying that down. And then we're going to have to make some molds to go along the edge of the bottle. And then I think she'll be done. We just got to figure out what to do around the neck. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I don't have anything. We'll have to do something shimmery and sparkly around the neck of this bottle. I don't think we're going to do ribbon. It's not going to take ribbon. It's got to be like shimmery and sparkly. So I have the paper down, right? And look at how it already looks like it shines. So when you're looking at it this way, we want to lay this down. But in order to do that, you're going to have to make some tears into the paper because it is rounded so that it lays evenly, if that makes sense. So I always say, don't be scared to tear. Especially decoupage queen papers, their rice papers are so beautiful that when you tear these and you lay them back down, those fibers just blend together beautifully. I used to be so scared to do this. I was like, I am not tearing my paper. I don't care what anybody tells me. I am not that brave. It's not going to happen. And then I did it once and I said, why haven't I been doing this the whole stinking time instead of fighting my projects? So, hey Barbara. Hello Jennifer. I keep seeing like the same people like Kim Arkelos, Roxanne, Tammy, Pamela. It's like every 10 seconds. Pamela is watching. Kimberly is watching. It's cracking me up. And I know it's just whatever the book is doing right now. So if I said hello to you like 20 times, that's why. Because then I don't remember if I said hello to the right one. Hey, Shannon. Shannon, you were literally like in Ohio. You were in Ohio. I was like, man, that would have been nothing for her to drive that. So I'm going to lay that piece down and then I hold up the next piece. We're going to lay that one down and it just folds seamlessly. If you got to tear it a little more, tear it a little more. And when I do this, I always say I go about halfway to the next one. I don't ever always lay the next one all the way down. Just in case you do have to tear a little bit more. Like up in here, I got to get in. I know, it's all good. And we can clean any of that varnish off of the bottle. It'll wash right off. I have to grab a smaller brush, I think. Let your squeegee do the work. My biggest problem is I use my fingers and you don't want to do that. I learned that. So here I'm going to tear just a little bit further, just a little bit further. You'll see it want to wrinkle a little bit. Just make your tear a little bit farther down. And if this scares you, just try it on one of these bottles. This bottle came from Hobby Lobby. and put one of your molds around the edge, because that's what we're doing. So it's going to hide most of it if you do get any bubbles. So if you've not done this and you're nervous to do it, this would be the project to do it on. Went to the zoo and jungle gyms. My son went there a couple weeks back. He was telling me about it. And so when I was watching the video, I was like, I think that's where my son went. And then it hit me, it is, because it's like that, like an ethnic food market, right? Like the biggest food market out there. I don't know. I've never been there. I didn't even know the place existed, and I live out in Ohio. How sad is that? Has anybody else ever been to jungle gyms? I don't know if they're everywhere. I don't know, like, is it just Ohio? That I don't know either. It looked cool. So I'm going to make just this tiny little cut right around the neck there. And I should have did it before I laid that stuff down. Okay, perfect. Hi, Lisa. Yes, the international food. It's really cool. Oh, see, that's the kind of stuff I love. It is a huge, huge, huge store. It's all international stuff. I love that kind of stuff. So I always say, like, I grew up on Lebanese food, German food, Lebanese food, Indian food, everything but American. And I'm from Germany, so a lot of German European food, but then growing up, my family worked in a restaurant. They were all Lebanese, and they were good friends of the family, so it's a lot of Lebanese food. It's probably one of my favorite foods ever. We have actually have a restaurant out here, like literally up the road. And they have, you guys have heard me say like knafi or however you want to say it, is like my favorite thing, and I haven't had it since I was a little girl, and the restaurant up the road has it. But it's like $16. I was like, no? No. Guess it'll have to wait. I was so excited too. Like knafi, which is a dessert. It's like a Lebanese dessert with cheese and rose water, and it's sweet. And then they have kibbeh. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't had that forever. I know, you guys are probably like, what is she talking about? Cincinnati, yeah. Your dad, I was born in Germany too. I was born in Wiesbaden. That's where I'm from. I came here when I was 5. I'm actually still a German citizen. Okay, so now I'm just going to go around and lay the rest of the paper down. All right, so we're all the way, look how beautiful that laid down. All right, so I'm just going to, oh, Nicole, I lied to y'all. Let me dry this because we're gonna have to take our gator sander to the bottom of this just a little bit. But before we do that, we gotta make sure it's nice and dry. I do have a wrinkle there, y'all. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Where's my tweezers? Glorious, not really. I know some words I'm not supposed to know. And then I can sometimes understand it. I know that seems weird, but I can sometimes understand when somebody's speaking it, or just enough to get the gist, like, okay, they're not saying some very nice things about me, or I can get the gist of what they're speaking about. Does that make sense? But I lost a lot of it. Little Italy in Cleveland, love the food. I've lived here my whole life. I've never been to Little Italy. That's sad. Well, most of my life. Since I was 5. Is that funny, Tanya? Yeah, I know some words I'm not supposed to know. But I wouldn't be able to understand enough, like if I was lost out there or something, how to get help. I would know enough to be like, okay, well, that guy thinks I'm an idiot. Bad words, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I'm sitting here shaking my head like you can see me. Listen, so, I mean, my mother was from Germany, so there was a lot of those words being thrown at us. He can go back to his country. My ex-husband was born in Austria. He is still... So my citizenship is just German citizen. I am not an American citizen. I am German. I did not get dual citizenship. I'm legal. I'm a permanent resident of the United States. So I have what they call an alien card, which is really more of a pain in the butt than anything. But I was the stubborn one because everybody else got theirs. And I was like, I'm keeping mine. And then all these years later, I'm like, oh my God, what I got to go through. So, and then I'm thinking, I should have paid more attention in school in history class because maybe I'd pass that stinking test. But now I'm thinking, because you got to go down and like take classes and then take the test, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in school all over again. I know that seems so silly. Like my one little brother has dual citizenship. Me and my other brother do not. Well, he does because he joined the Marines. So he got out of school, joined the Marines, and he became a citizen. And then my other brother never moved out here. He stayed there. Okay. I am, but it's funny that I'm actually not. Like, what I gotta go through sometimes. I could leave, but without my passport, I'd never be allowed back in. I know, because back in the day when you could go to Niagara Falls, you didn't need to have all that. So I remember my friends, we were young. Like, my daughter, Ashley, was young. And I had not had Austin yet. And my friend Desiree, very dear friend of mine, she passed away 2 years ago. We went to Niagara Falls with a bunch of us. And she's like, whatever you do when you get there, they're going to ask you, are you an American citizen? Just say yes. Well, I panicked. I'm sitting there and I'm like, and everybody just hits me. And I'm like, yes. I said, what happens when I cross and they find out when I come back that I'm not, and now I'm stuck here? Like, now, it's different. But back then, I was like, I'm going to be in big trouble. That would have been a nightmare and a half. Sue, we would have met. Okay, so this is what we look like so far. How pretty that is. X had it because his mom was born in Austria. Father was American and they lived. Gotcha. So this is the mold we're going to use, because see how it's kind of like leafy, and that's a fairy, kind of like the wooded, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking that would be pretty appropriate, that would be a great mold to use. So we're going to put that mold on there, and we're going to find something to put here, and then I will show you what color we're going to paint the mold, and then basically she's going to be done. So I'm actually going... Thanks, Donna. Hi, Kathy. Hey, Joanne. So isn't it pretty? So I'm thinking this should be wide enough. So I've been using these molds. So I do have oil already in my molds. I need to clean all my stuff. So I'm hoping this shouldn't stick. So I'm just pushing. This is the Chic Borders mold. I'm hoping one is big enough. Hi, Brenda. To kind of go across. And I'm telling you, these molds are amazing, because all you got to do is this. Kind of went not very thick there. They have like the little lip as your guide, and you just take your palette knife. Look at that. I remembered palette knife. Excuse me. I used to use cornstarch, and I used cornstarch forever. And then one day I used the oil, and after I used the oil, I never went back to cornstarch. Every once in a great while, in a pinch, I'll use cornstarch if I have to, but... All right, so then you just kind of roll your mold. Oh, shiitakes. Roll your mold. Thank you. And this is what it looks like. We see the detail in that? See what I mean? Like, it's got like little, flowers on there, and then like the leafy. So let's see how that's gonna work. We're gonna do a little space right there. And I think that's gonna be perfect, actually. Okay, I'm gonna use Express Glue, guys. You can use Heavy Body Gel. Yes, I use olive oil. You can use, a lot of people use baby oil. So Tanya, just go to It should be linked at the bottom. It's Craft and Cast. If not, you'll find it on, it is linked at the bottom. Sue has it, has the link there for you. This is called the Chic Borders. It is, I love it because it is so, I'm going to use the word versatile because it has so many different styles in it, and you get like it's perfect because of those little rope molds too. Like everybody's always wanting those little rope molds. I used this one on that bunny bottle that I posted a picture of. No, I did not. I used this one. So I want to use this one. But there's just so many different styles on there. Okay, so I don't want to break this mold, so I'm gonna be careful and go just like so. Come up a little bit. So that express glue, I love the express glue. You can use heavy body gel. It works just as beautifully. I like the express glue, especially for like smaller little intricate molds, because it's got that little, it's kind of like the B7000. It's got almost like what I would say a precision tip on it. So I'm going to be very gentle with that clay and just kind of, because it is pretty wide for this. I'm leaving myself just enough gap that we can bring some kind of bling or something sparkly into the neck of this bottle. I'm going to see what I have. But I thought this was a great mold to use for this fairy. Now you want to be gentle for the simple fact that you don't want to lose the detail on your mold. Hi, baby girl. Okay, baby wipe. And I'm going to get any of that excess express glue, which it will come off. You can use a silicone brush. I'm just wiping off anything that may have oozed out. Only bad thing about clay is I could use gloves, y'all, but we all know how I am about that. However, the clay gets everywhere. Okay, so we're gonna do another one, but there is, look how pretty that is on there. And this is gonna be painted a gold. Yes, Jovi. And what I will suggest is when you have it, which I did not do, when you have it sitting to the side, cover it with like a baby wipe or something, just to keep it damp, so it doesn't, because it does tend to dry out a bit. Hi Melva, how are you? I remember I used to be so scared to use clay because I couldn't get it down pat to save my life. And then I did, and now I love using it. So just get it down in there, push it down, and then take your palette knife and just come straight across to remove any excess. Do not dig in, hold it flat, and just move across. Now I can tell you that I went a little deep in here, so I'm gonna lay the rest of this clay right there. Only because I want the surface to be even. So if you dig, when you do that, you're not going to have an even, smooth surface, if that makes sense. Stick a baby wipe on there. Okay. Hey, Miss Rhonda. Yes, it's Jovi Air Dry. Okay. So same thing. I'm going to use my Express Glue. You can also get this on Craft and Chaos. This is what I mean by like that little tip there. Now this does come off, so you can pop this little lid off if you needed to. And then I just use my fingers and I spread it. Like I said, I use Heavy Body Gel too. It's just what I grabbed. And I keep this on hand to do like I did the molds on that egg. So I use the Express Glue for that because you have like all those little pieces. But again, I think it's just preference, whatever you like. Heavy Body Gel works amazing. So does this Express Glue. And I just tend to babysit it a little bit. Now I'm going to go in my lap again because when I drop these, sometimes I tend to, listen, I got to flip. So I don't want to break my clay. I want to make sure my space. Now, clay does shrink as it dries. Just remember that. So if you think you would need a little more space, pull it down a little bit more. This is going to shrink. It's what clay does. It shrinks, it cracks, it's fine. The cracks don't bother me. The shrinking doesn't bother me because once you get used to it, you kind of figure out where you want to lay it. So this will go back a little further as it dries, if that makes sense. So I always bring it a little bit closer. It does not dry squishy. No, it dries hard. So the clay does dry hard. Like this is the one that I did, that bunny. I don't know how to, I don't want to whack it. It dries hard. No squishy. Oh my goodness. Between the glue and the clay on my hands, I'm gonna go bonkers. Now, which side did I just do? This side. Yeah? Yeah. Yes. 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 So again, we're just going to very gently kind of maneuver it down. And I'll babysit this for a little while. Be careful moving your bottle back and forth when you do these, is you're gonna squish your clay. Now, what I'm gonna tell you is on the bottom, right there, I did the gold, right? So I'm gonna actually take the gold and fill this line here, and I'm gonna fill this line here so that when you're looking inside, you're not gonna see, I know you guys probably, you can sort of catch it here. You see like an empty space inside. I want to see the gold. I don't want to see the glass. So I'm going to actually take my foils and I will do that area as well. And then who says we put the glitter on the back? Because I do. I think we put the glitter on the back. And when this all dries, we can paint this gold. I think I'm going to use, I don't know. I'm going to have to look at my golds. I think there's a delicate one that I like. I'll have to look. If not, then what we'll use is the metal pigments in gold. Because I kind of want the gold to look like that, right? Can you paint for, and then no. So you want to glue your clay on while it's moldable, because it does start to dry and it becomes brittle. So you want it on there. And if you paint the clay when it's still super wet like this, like I would say give it, if you really want to do the project that day, give it a few hours so that at least the surface of it is somewhat dry. It's not going to be dry all the way through because these are thicker molds. You want to put your clay on while, like right after you pull it out of your mold, so that you can make sure that it adheres where it needs to adhere. And when you paint clay, because it dries, you're going to get cracks and so forth, and you're going to have to repaint it anyway once it is dry. So you can paint it and then come back and repaint it, but you want to put it on first, if that makes sense. Hi, Sandra. So I'm thinking, what do we want to put? It's got to be like gold. It's got to be a certain gold going around. I don't remember if I put it in here. I don't think this will work. That might work. Or I have another one. Oh, Lynn, I hope you're not... Should be on replay going, Nicole. Just pull out your bling drawer, because this is what I'm going to do anyway. Okay, it's right here. Ah, wait a minute. I have an idea. What if I go... Okay, I'm trying to be careful because of the clay. If I go down with that, and then I go around with that, hold on, y'all, and then come back up around with this one. Yep. Now, mind you, that trim, that clay that we just did is going to be gold too, right? So what if we do that, and then I find some kind of topper to go above? I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that too much? So remember, there's that gold inside, and that's what we're going to kind of play off of. I kind of like that. I don't know. This might be too much. Maybe just not with the silver, but we're going to put that. Oh, I'm going to squish my clay. Yikes, I'm going to have to fix that. You like that? Or we can go with that, and it's kind of got a little bit of both. I almost like that too. Because we can do that. We can do the same thing with this one. Do the bottom, top, and then throw in a little bit of the silver, because if you're looking at the... Where's my little palette knife? So this is where you got to be careful when you're working around the clay. When you look inside the bottle, see how it kind of like has that sparkle in there too? Yeah, both are really pretty, I think. I think I might do that. I might do this, and I'll put like a row of bling on top and on the bottom. So it kind of looks like it's got those little starbursts in it. But what I really want to do is put this glitter varnish and glue on the back. So let's do that. We're going to put a coat of that on there and dry it. And like I said, I'll put the gold on either side here so that you see that from inside. So this is what the back looks like now. It still looks like it's super shiny, right? Now imagine this gold, but let's shake it up just in case. Like I said, I haven't used this before. So I just want to make sure I get that glitter in there. Hi, Jill. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Here we go. I don't want to go too crazy with it. I come right up to that very edge of that mold. Now I already see some cracks forming, and that's fine. It is fun to try something new. Okay, so let's dry it. I want to dry it, see what happens. It's just gonna have some glitter in it. Hi Nancy, hi Pamela. So if you haven't tried it yet, decoupage varnish and glue in glitter. It's a fairy. It's whimsical and fun. Why not? I say go for it. It looked pretty on there. So that's what we tried it on. You can see it. Hey Charlotte, how are you, darling? So we'll give it a quick dry. And I think we'll go over it with like a glossy varnish once it's all finished, once I have those molds on the side painted, and then lay down some more of those foils. I'm almost wondering, do I foil the neck of, I think I'm gonna foil the neck of the bottle. I should have did that before, but it is what it is. I'm gonna gold foil this too. So you see like the gold foil there? We're gonna gold foil this as well. But see if you can see, it's not all the way dry, but it's got like it's like it catches all these different colors. Thanks, Gail. Miss Trish sent it to me. So I love that. But look how pretty she is in there. So now imagine this all gold, right? And then this gold foil that's on the bottom will bring up to the sides here so that that's what you see from the inside. See how you can see the inside? But right here you can see the glass, and I don't want to see that glass. And then we'll bring the gold up into the neck here as well. And then I think if we do that, this is really all it needs. I don't have to put like all this trim on there. We can just do this. So it'll be gold foiled, and then we'll put like a little bit of sparkle onto it. So, alrighty, I'll finish it, and then, what did I do with that egg? We'll finish it, and then I'll post a picture of it. You love it? Thank you. And there's the egg we did. Fun, right? I love these eggs. And I will be, hi, Miss Linda. Like I said, once this is dry, I'll paint it. We'll foil it. We'll do all those fun things. Yes, the DOS, I've used the DOS. So what I tell people is that's what I started with. I will warn you that the DOS clay is got a wetter consistency. So especially for like intricate molds, I can use it because that's what I started. with. However, the Jovi is like, if you want to start with a clay, it's got like the right consistency. Like it's not super dry. It definitely doesn't have that really wet feel like the Das does. There is, it's called the Das clay. I like I said, I can use it. The Jovi clay has the perfect, has that great consistency that's kind of like in the middle of all of them. There's one called Premium. I think you get it at Michael's, and I think you can get it online, but I'll warn you, it's super, super expensive. Are they on sale this week? I got, a friend of mine grabbed me a few of them. I think they were, was it a week or two ago? Yeah, I don't remember when it was. And she grabbed me a few of them because I haven't made it to Hobby Lobby in forever. So, but I would recommend trying the Jovi, and they sell the Jovi. Do I have the little package here? They sell it in this small package that you can get as well. So if you want to just try it in a small package, Lord knows where I put it. I don't know where I put things anymore, you guys. But they sell it in a half-pound package, so you don't have to buy like some big package. I know that Terry does carry them, so if you click the link below, you can go check her store out, and she does carry those. So they're like half-pound. You'll get plenty of projects out of it, but it's a great way to kind of see how much you like it, if that makes sense. All right, y'all, I'm going to hop off. Thank you for hanging out. I've been on here for a little over 2 hours now. So this is going to get another coat, and then she will be done. This one's going to have to wait to dry, and then she will be done. And Formflex, yeah, there's Formflex too. So I do like Formflex very much. Definitely different than like using a clay. So, oh, my bling drawer is not there. It's over here. I'm pulling at something that's not even there. I almost pulled my whole thing out. Okay, guys, I will see you all tomorrow night, same time, same place. I will actually be putting a post out. We will be on CH Decor Creative Friends page tomorrow as well, so I hope to see you over there. We'll be working on some Easter eggs. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being here when you could have been anywhere else. It means the world to me. I'll see y'all very, very soon. Bye-bye.